this is how it is. So hold on, let me show you guys. It's me. Hi everyone, it's me. Um, so here we are, you know, and I like the fact that I get to chill with you guys. I get to have a fun stream, and today we're just going to be playing a pretty awesome game that I know called 248. Now, normally I usually don't tend to do this very often, but yeah, we're going to be playing 248. So, yay, simple game, simple things. If you want to ask me questions, here we go. Time to ask questions is now. And honestly, I am not mad. I am not mad at that. Just we're here. All right. I know this is a very simple game and it's a very simple stream, but I swear this is the only thing that I'm doing that I guess it's just very calming. And I also just had a really hectic work day because I also work besides doing this. But yeah, 2048. Also, this is a very simple game. You can look up the website, very easy to find. But yeah, uh, how have you guys been like? Because I know for me, it's been like just a lot of change, a lot of difference, and uh, I don't know if I said this last time, but Happy New Year. This is probably the third stream I've done out of just all of this year, as I've been trying to get a little more, not just traction, but like just do more on here, you know? And I think personally, this is a good like game to be calm with if you like math. Although the funny part is I don't like math, and yet this game is super calming for me. But yeah, this tends to be something I just tend to do on my free time. But yeah, you know, nothing too new in my life, just working like always, and just on here streaming when I can. Okay. I know this game does slow down a bit, and I know there's ads regardless of where you go with these games, but please regard the fact that right now I'm just admitting this as I go. I stream off of a laptop right now. I do not have a proper computer to do this, and I do not have the money for it at the moment. So bear in mind that whenever you see this, I guess, very low quality stream, it is because I am streaming off of a laptop and nothing else. Like, it's not anything that it's nothing you guys can control or do. It's just, yeah, that's just how it is. Um, and also that's just what I can afford right now. I do hope to upgrade a lot of this though. Like I do hope to slowly like go from this to just a computer. I don't know why there's a little nit that decided to come around and bother me in my ears. It's always every time I'm like streaming or something stupid. It's always when I'm doing something ridiculous at my desk. It just likes to do that to me. I'm like, great, cool, bother the ever living shit out of me. And on a different note, have any of you guys checked out the new series, That 90s Show? Anybody? No? Okay. So, for people who don't know, basically that 90s Show is a revival version of the original show, That 70s Show, that premiered in the late 90s, early 2000s. And this show actually used to be on Netflix. Like you could watch it on Netflix before, and now it's not there. But they made this revival series continuing off of the original characters from that 70s show. And um, I'll just say this now. That 70s show ran for 8 seasons. I'm pretty sure it premiered 1998, and if it said its goodbye in 2006. So, had a pretty good run. And I am very happy to know that they made this revival. But I swear to God, as I'm bringing it up and I'm saying let's chill as I'm playing this, I guess it's my calmest game. Or all these games I've been playing are very calm. But it's just, yeah, it's a lot. And it is what it is. And I know for a fact that the show, oh my gosh, I started talking about it and then I went off track. Uh, But basically, like, the original show was just, like, amazing, and it had, like, 20 episodes each season. Although, as I watched this new one, mind you, I binged it all in one night, don't do that, you know, do as I say, not as I do. Um, I had found it to be very disappointing for somebody who had watched the original series, who had seen, you know, all 8 seasons and has it on DVD because I am that much of a, like that just tells you how much I love it a bit. But I basically just I watched it and I was disappointed. Not because the show was terrible, because it isn't. It isn't terrible at all. It actually still meets up to the same standards, if not a little more than its original parent show. But like it kind of lacks a lot of the story depth, and it lacked a lot of time. And I felt like everything just was very forced. And I feel like I'm gonna make a video about this on my channel, on my YouTube channel, like an actual in-depth video of my, you know, my excitement and my disappointments with the show and just how everyone was excited for it and it did not kind of meet the par of, I guess, like the entire nation so far. Like it kind of just did a lot and played with your nostalgia factors, but then it just kind of died. It died after that. And I will say this now, as a very quick disclaimer, if I don't ever make that video, it has nothing to do with anything that I can really pin on the writers. Because I know in like just in the industry itself, the industry machine that is acting, directing, and screenwriting, it is a very tough thing to try and appease an audience with a revival show, especially if you're somebody who has little to no research on the show, which wasn't the case with this. Like, this was the original writers from the OG show, and, you know, they went in, they did this, they, you know, essentially remade that 70s show. It still had the same feel, felt the same vibes that you got from the original episodes. It just lacked a lot. And I say this in more of a sense of, oh shit, I forgot where to go in this game. But basically, it lacked a lot of depth with the characters and, no offense, but time. And normally, when you get a show that has a good amount of time, oh my god, it's only been 9 minutes and I'm rambling about this now. My god. Um, when you normally ramble about a show that just, you know, involves time, and well, not even just time, but just like the characters and the time period that it's set in. So yeah, the 90s, and that's kind of what that 70s show was. It was made in the 90s, but like late 90s, early 2000s, and you know, they talked to a lot of people beforehand who were big things in the 70s. Like Betty White actually was a guest star on that show at one point, and she played Kitty's mother. And it's grateful that we get some reference to Kitty's mom because that is Betty White's character, and you know, she unfortunately could not be back. But then again, she wasn't a part of the main cast, so who cares? Except for me, because like, you know, she died last year. May she rest in peace. Um, but basically, the show itself and where it met things, like I said, this is all just in case if I don't make that YouTube video, and I really hope I do, because it is a treasure trove and everyone's on the hot for it. But basically, my biggest con with it was because of how little episodes there were. And like I said, I can't exactly blame anybody in like in who like was in control of creating the show, how many episodes went into it, you know, ordered how many, because I know shows order a certain amount of episodes in order for things to air, if I'm correct. But also, I'm not quite sure how certain companies do that, mainly because, like, you know, I don't work actively in that industry, so how could I know what they do? Like, you know, it's kind of like that thing. But basically, my point is, it just lacked a lot of story and context, because I felt like if there was more story and more episodes to then build that story, um, just like any other original episode would have, it would have given that 70s like that, not even that 70s show, but it would have given that 90s show that nice tactile new fresh stories despite the nostalgia factor. Like, I feel like there was going to be good depth with Leia Foreman and her friends, and just point place in general with a new generation of people. And I think that's where a lot of people are coming from. It's this thing of there weren't a lot of episodes, so there isn't too much to go off of, but there also is so much that is crammed in there all at once that um you just can't like contain. And it sucks because you're like thinking, "Oh yeah, I could do this." And I don't know. It's this matter of as a fan, I am just mildly disappointed in that area, and that's my biggest critique. It's more of if they had more time and more episodes. And like I said, I don't know how going about getting a certain amount of episodes for the series goes, except for that sometimes certain studios, I think they order a certain amount, and then from there, the writers have to deal with a certain amount of like scripts that they have to put out and story that they have to continue with and contend with. I'm not quite sure, but I know that changes on a daily, like on a dime. Like you could always change what happened in the script in like a day and it goes in the industry. But at the same time, I also am not sure what that case would have been for that 70s show. So it's a lot of this like discourse between I'm not sure where they were with that and how Netflix does their thing, but with more thorough research, hopefully I'll learn that and then I'll point fingers somewhere. Like that it needs I'll point the fingers in the right direction. There we go. Um but yeah, that's kind of what I'm, you know, venting about. Just all of that 70s show just kind of was nostalgic, but beyond that it went kind of down the chute a little bit. And I wish it didn't. Because honestly, the show it's very offbeat humor. It's very much that thing where if you like to laugh, but the humor is dry, you'll like that 70s show just a little bit more. But I don't think it's fully dry. Like I think for me as an autistic person, it just comes off as dry because I don't understand half the jokes, or like the jokes I do understand, they're just not as like I guess like on the nail or like on the nose as much. They're kind of like typical, like that typical joke you'd make with like your friends. Or like that typical one liner you'd pull out with like your friends about, let's say, a certain body part or whatnot. It's like kind of like that for me and how I read it. But like at the same time, I recommend you guys checking it out for yourselves and then formulating an opinion because I can tell you how much I like it and have all these other like cons with it. But I also at the same time know there is a difference between what I say versus what the internet says and then versus what you think. And that's why there's also unpopular opinions. And I do think that sometimes unpopular opinions go very unnoticed. I do like the people who come in and go, "Yeah, look at this unpopular opinion. This is how it goes." And I'm not mad about it. It's just great. And yeah, it tends to be that way a lot of the time. So, it's just like that. And I know with what is it? With like oh my gosh. I had to actually think about that for a second. Oh yeah. So with like different things involving not just the 90s show, but also like just reboots and kind of this era of, oh my gosh, nostalgia factor, let's remake this show and make it different in some way. You know, and I like when they get to do that. For example, the iCarly reboot, I like that it was made for a more mature audience form and kind of this realist of, yeah, they grew up with us. And there we go. It's like that. And then I felt like Disney tried tacking that on, and it just did not end very well. Like, no offense, Disney. You got other things to make you a millionaire, just not reboots. And mind you, I hope to never say that again on the internet. I swear. Somebody's going to clip that at some point in time, and it's just going to not end well. But yeah, very calming. This is what it is. Very calming stuff. And I like it like that. Uh, but yeah, besides my rant about all that, yeah, it's kind of just like we're just chilling here, playing a very fun game. And I do like that this is just a fun I just like the way it changes colors. I'll be quite honest. I think that's like the one bit that makes me feel not so frustrated when I play this. It's just like, oh, colors, numbers put together, and then, get the matching ones and then they make a new color? Fun stuff. I love how I say that and then the Brad Mondo color thing is getting advertised like right here on the screen. Like that is not intentional. That was just more of, oh, cool. You said you like color? Hair color. I'm like, I am not dyeing my hair again, ever again. No offense, I was losing my hair when I did that stuff. And don't get me wrong, not to say I wouldn't do it in the future. It's more like if I did, I would just not do my whole head like I did the last time, because that's a big mistake. Like, and I did that for 2 years. So, like, obviously I was gonna lose hair at some point, but dude, I would never do that again. Wait, what is the score? Oh, nice. No, no, nice. But it could be better. It could be this. It could be higher. I just realized how much I've been talking. Oh. And you know what sucks? I can't play music. I can't even play music for very long on this live, which sucks. Because I was hoping to play a full song, and then next thing you know, it just goes downhill for like 5 seconds. Chillax. Do what you need to. Do a live stream and there's no music. Can't even, Like I said, when I upgrade my stuff, I hope to be able to have other features that will work alongside the stream. Just stupid Nat. Just not. It's a thing. You work with what you work with, and I'm grateful I have this and that I can stream it all. Well, did one thing wrong, and I did that. That's a fun one to do when you just like, oh my goodness. Love how I do that. Mess up. Oh well, I'll deal with it. It's a thing. Just never touch that again. And just hearing myself echo was a life of a small streamer. That's just that's just how it is. How it is. Also, I'm very glad that I'm doing this on a Friday and on a day that's just like, you know, very end of the week, like everyone gets paid kind of feel. And it's just that. It's just that vibe. It's like, yeah, we're all hopefully chilling at home. I hope I'm not stressing you out. I hope my voice is very calming. You know, one day I might just do a stream and put you all to sleep. We'll see what happens. I do hope for a lot in the future, especially as I have made a different thing. This year, like, okay, so you know how everyone makes New Year's resolutions? I basically chose to do, instead of a New Year's resolution, I chose to do a new New Year theme. Okay. And the way that I went about it was I decided on something very broad, but also very specific in some sense, but mainly very broad to give myself more room to grow myself and, like, and give myself room to be able to go, hey, look, I'm doing this as a way to benefit not just me, but my life and make some kind of like change that might be bigger than what I expect. And one of the things that I've been doing, especially, is I have been looking into moving to England. And to no surprise, of course, it's a long process, and going to England can be expensive. And I'm not just talking like go on a trip to England. I mean also like just move there and stuff. Sorry, have younger siblings. um, but hold on, or not. Love my siblings, love my house. But that's how it is too. Like I also have that to contend with. But um, I've been thinking about like moving and stuff, and yeah, I plan on going on a trip to England to visit someone that I know. And I'm not telling you who they are because confidentiality and everything. But just me mentioning that should be enough. Um, but like I said, that's a long process. I have no idea how long that's going to take. But with that big thing in mind, I have slowly also incorporated other things to make up for that change and make up for that just that big move I want to make in my life. And so like I've made all of this year a year of change. And that's what my theme is. It's change in what I not only want to do, but change in a lot of factors and that might be different by the end of the year. Who knows? And I'm very grateful that my friend on Facebook, I feel like I'm scripting, but I'm so not. Like um like a friend of mine from like college posted something on Facebook about New Year's themes and how they're a lot more reasonable, beneficial, and they can always end up showing you something that you didn't expect in the year. And then you're like, oh, I thought change looked this way, or like I thought health looked like this, but it could also mean this, like that kind of a thing. And no, it's not a weird bozo thing. Like, honestly, I wish it was a bozo thing. But realistically, it's still the beginning of the year. It's still the beginning of the year right now. We're about to enter the second month, and oh my god, I do not stream as much as I would like to. I know I'm trying to make more changes and stream on here more and actually make a better, I guess, amount of change too. Because, like, like I feel like I have those normal struggles you have as an adult, which is like money, and like dealing with, do I actually want this, or do I actually need this, do I actually, like, does this benefit me in any way, like those real questions that I feel like as a child you don't think about because you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have to worry about this, versus when you hit adulthood you're like, oh holy shit, now I gotta worry about this like my mom and dad did. And yeah, it kind of hits you in a weird place. And I know the two people who I know in my life who do watch this are probably like, "Yeah, you're not wrong. It does feel like that. It kind of sucks." And I feel like you slowly get there when you like not just the it sucks, but like worrying about the money and how you're going to live. Oh shit, I beat my high score. Fuck. I just realized that um comes with a very different not just not like a price, but just like a very different, um, I guess, benefit in itself. Like there is so much out there. Like there's so much you can do, but at the same time, it's like money's a big one. Your finances, your health is a big one as an adult because you think phys ed is annoying. Then wait until you have no phys ed and you legitimately feel like a slob. Or not even a slob, but you feel just unhealthy as you don't work out or as your body naturally changes as it's supposed to. That, turns 20 bloat is what I call it, but like, there probably is an actual term for that in your development. But, you kind of realize how exercise was so important in school and how much it starts to affect you when you're an adult and you're like, I feel fat. Probably because I'm not eating the best shit in the world. I know other things like I know sometimes health also means like for some people finding out different conditions they didn't know they had. I know for me when I was 18, that was the biggest change I had in my life. It was learning that ooh, that's a nice score, but it could be higher. Sorry. For me, that was learning that I had autism, and that took a whirlwind on me because it was this feeling of not only relief and knowledge, but it also took a lot of research for me to really um, come to a verified conclusion that that was what it is, and that it then made me rethink everything I did in my life, and it made me rethink about myself. Like, and I think it affected me more than I would like to admit. And it's insane because I feel like when you get older, the things that you find out just become a lot more, not just the word I thought of before was nonsensical, but that didn't make sense for this context. But the word that does make sense is baffling. It sometimes becomes the most baffling thing because you sometimes didn't know you couldn't prevent certain things from happening. You sometimes learn that some of the stuff that you probably didn't know, like, ran through your genetic line, and it affected you more than you believed. Like, there's so much that you can learn, and so much that growing up teaches you in a way that adults do not give you in the American education system. Now, I have no idea about any other education system outside the US because obviously I am from the USA. I speak English, un petit français. I barely speak Spanish, so, no hablo español. Very little sign language, and my sign language skills are varied. Like, I do not sign very well. I just know basic conversation. So please do not, like, ask me to sign after, hi, my name is Emily. Like, the whole, like, hi, my name, Emily. Uh, nice to meet you. Besides that, I am not fluent in any other languages except my native language, English. And yeah, and also like, but yeah, and the point being that I was trying to make is growing up actually makes you realize how much the world just is so much more than you think. And not just that, but so much more baffling and more of a not like a battlefield. I was gonna say battlefield, but I'm like, that kind of sounds bleak. Like, you want to give kids hope in the world. um, it can feel like it's bleak. There we go. It can feel like it's bleak, but it's not. It's actually a lot more complicated at times. And I feel like adulthood, when you dream about it as a kid, you think you can do whatever you want. You think you can do anything. And the truth is, you kind of can. Like, that still stands as true. But you realize there's a lot more problem solving and there's a lot more financial burden and responsibility that is an expectation from you as a newer generation, as a newer set of children, especially if you grew up in a household where you were already expected to keep on with your parents' legacy, and let's say you didn't want to do that, it, like I said, it kind of overwhelms you and it consumes you like a plague. And I know we're only almost 30 minutes in, but I've already brought up so many things. And I feel like right now, this is probably the most philosophical talk that I'm going to be having with anybody. And realistically speaking, it is not an easy pill to swallow entering adulthood. And I'm going to stop playing for a second to be serious. Um, but for real, growing up takes a lot. And I feel like it takes a lot of courage. And I feel like with a lot of people, I know some people don't want to grow up. And I feel like when you're an adult, you want to yearn for your childhood again. And I feel like that starts to happen a lot more as you're a teenager and you're starting to realize that maybe the world isn't what you thought it was. And maybe it's not as, sunshines and rainbows as anything else. And I'm being very serious as I'm talking to you, the audience, the person watching the stream with me, as I stop to be serious and not, like, not touch the board. Um, but for real, I feel like it's so much. And yet so many people out there don't think about that. And it's insane. It's insane. And I feel like if the world did teach you what it was like to, to grow up in a place where not only um, are there bad things that happen, they wouldn't want that for kids. Like, for real, there is no way that this world would ever teach young kids that. And then when you start learning, you're like, a teenager. Your brain is already getting whatever. And it gets so much more complicated and you realize how webbed everything really is and it's just it's just weird because it hits at the heart in a different way. And I feel like when you do deal with that kind of stuff, it just is what it is. And there's like so much going on and I cannot help but like do kind of almost nothing in a weird way. Like it really does get me sometimes because it's this thing of it's just this thing where I think realizing you're an adult makes you realize all you really are is a child trying to figure something out in the real world. And you're trying to figure out how you want to actually um how you want to be in the real world. And that's something that not everybody I think realizes. Um but it's a thing. It's a real thing. And it just gets me sometimes because I'm like shocked at how quick and how witty people are. And not just that, but just how everything works when you become an adult. And you get this big thing about, oh yeah, you're still a kid. I'm big, you're small. You know, that thing. And I feel like when Matilda, when you get told that, it sucks, yeah. And yes, I'm referencing Matilda. I'm sorry I didn't say it more clearly. But what does it matter? You still grew up. You still have passions. You still have things you want to do out there. And yet, so much of it, I feel like it's filtered out or completely destroyed by somebody who doesn't even actually know or care. And it's not to say that that's you, but that is a lot of people. And I'm just getting very rambly now. But it's a lot. It's a lot when you become an adult. And I feel like just doing what you can, being able to do what you must, it can be a frustrating thing. Like, for real. It really can be. And that's just how it is in the world. And it's scary. Sorry, sibling again. But yeah, basically, it's a lot when you become an adult. And I feel like it exceeds your expectations. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the world is just going to keep watering down a lot of things. Or they're not going to realistically give us, not even give us, it's more like they give us enough, but there's just so much damage in this world, in America, realistically, as I'm speaking, and I'm prospectively speaking about the experience as a second generation American with a parent whose parents were immigrants, um, you know, things like that. And it can be scary. It can be the one thing you don't expect. So it's just a lot at once. And I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I got very rambly. I got very thinkish. Thinkish. Well, that's a word now. Thinkish, and it sucks because I have a lisp. So this is even better. Let's not think about that stuff too much. Okay. And also I think I'm getting crazier. I really hope I'm not, but yeah, that's a fear. Just the fear of going insane. uh you know what's funnier? I'm saying it so comfortingly when it's not comfortable at all. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. Um but yeah, that's a thing. That's a fun one. That's a jargon of something. Jargon? No. No, that's not even right. What the I don't know what I'm saying anymore, guys. Like, I swear, I'm losing my mind. But yeah, happy Friday. Let's just enjoy the number game with colors. All right. Also, I'm really scared if you guys can hear my breathing because it's just like so. Just such a calm, such a calm stream. Such a calm thing. Woohoo. Woohoo, woohoo. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll be honest. I can't stay quiet for too long because, damn it, my anxiety. Woo! Honestly, I want to know just how have you guys been? Like, realistically. Besides me rambling about adulthood and life and just, I guess, everything you could put down with life. Um, and just every change that I want to make. Like, how have you been? And I know that may not be easy to say, but it's a thing. Um, but yeah, okay. And also, the fact that I play these good games, I think is the best part about it. It's like it's the best. I can just play it, have a good old time, not worry about anything. Get game overs. Oh no. Well, okay, that could have been so much worse. Sorry. Just siblings again. This is what it's like when I have siblings too. That's another thing. I think it's just I have a lot of siblings and and there's just so much to do. There's so much in life. Ugh. Oh well. Then again, we all live together, love each other. I think that's another thing. Like I don't talk enough about how much I love my siblings because I do. I love them, but they also annoy me. And yeah, that's the best way to put it. It's more of I love them, I'm proud of them, and I really hope that they all have a good future that they like and that they have all these prospects and stuff, and perspectives that they create on their own. Because no two people are the same. And a lot of people say that. But no two people are the same, and nobody's two ideas about how they should live their life are going to ever be the same, even if it is based off of someone else's. It should still be your own. Do things you want to do and think about what you want to do before you jump into the leap. Because if you have second doubts about it, then it's probably not the path you're supposed to go on. And honestly, that's truth right in there. If it feels like the path that you're trying to go on is making you have many second doubts in yourself, in your abilities, then maybe it's not the path you're supposed to go on. Maybe it's something you're supposed to pursue for a short term of time. Maybe it's supposed to be something you pursue in whatever amount of time you want. It is just a passion. It can sometimes just be a hobby. And you know what? That's better than nothing because that means you're practicing a skill, you're utilizing a skill that you're now learning to do, and you're giving it whatever time and care in the world. And I think in the end, that's what should matter more. Your ability to see if it really makes you happy. And that's, I think, the whole point in the idea of, control your own happiness. You're the one that dictates that. You control it. And it's true. It's this thing of, are you really happy in what you do? Do you feel like you can successfully do this? Do you feel like you can do something without fear? Do something without embarrassment? Like, I know I do this, and for me, I feel like I can see myself doing this just a bit. Even if it's not my entire life, I still feel like I can do this. I still stream this stuff for like this audience, regardless of how small you are. I I do it. I do it because I actually care about it. I can see myself doing it, and it makes me feel okay. It makes me feel happy, especially right at this moment. And and like there are so many other things out there too that do the same thing. And you know what? I don't want people to lose that. And I think that's the one thing about streaming and streamers that I think people don't think about. It's they do something for entertainment purposes and, you know, they're doing it for themselves, regardless of how many people are cheering them on. It started for themselves. It started as a passion. And you know what? Some people talk about how much they gave up. I talk about how much I should be streaming more on here because I feel like I don't do it enough. And I want to do more. And I'm doing this for myself. I think for other small streamers, that should be a passion too. It's like, if you're going to do this for yourself, make your time for it. And not just that, make it with whatever amount of content you like, regardless of if it makes immediate attraction or a slow growth of traction. And you know what? That's not bad. That just means, hey, look, I'm starting and it's not very fast. Guess what? Patience. You learn patience. You learn about time. You learn about things you probably didn't think you were going to have to think about. And I'm so sorry if I send you into a different stream and this is how you're stuck with things. You're just like, oh my God. Ah. Like, like, I don't want, like, don't get me wrong. I don't want to make someone panic and feel like they have to think about their life choices. That's not what I'm saying. Um, or that's not what I'm intending to do, but I might be saying. It's just more of this, like, it's more of just this truth of be yourself, do what you want to do. And realistically, when I realized I wanted to do a year change, it came from a video that said something very similar. And I don't remember the name of the video, don't remember the name of the person of the video. But I do know they basically said something along those lines. They're like, if you want to make content about this, do it. And it's not always going to be the biggest immediate growth. That's sheer luck when you have something big like that happen. And I think it's a very lucky thing when you grow as a streamer and as somebody who is beloved on the internet, um, or by a small audience. I think that's even better, especially because smaller streamers don't get the traction that they always, not to say deserve, but they don't always get enough traction in general. And I think being somebody who's starting at the bottom and with very little supplies and very little equipment, I think I can enjoy doing this right now because it's all my time. It's all my ability to do this and my dedication to at least remember to go, hey, I have an idea to stream. And even if it's not consistent right now, and I've brought up that I do want to update things and, my updates and stuff, if you guys want to keep up, it's on Twitter, it's on my YouTube community tab, check them out. I linked them. I did more on my channel here, and there's just so much out there, and it's so real. And I will say, as this all is coming back around to me bringing up my year of change, I feel like a lot of my year of change is making me philosophically realize how much I never felt like I was on the right path, or I felt like the path I was trying to go on, I always had those second doubts. And making the changes I'm trying to make realistically and where I am, it feels weird because I feel like it's aligning with things that I don't usually bring up on here. I mean, I have a TikTok, but like I've brought up other strange stories on TikTok, but realistically, this is kind of falling into that verge of those people online who are there like manifest and resonate and all this stuff. And I'm like, this path that I'm going on, I feel like it resonates with me for real. And it feels weird to say it because as a spiritual person, I never thought I'd have a day where I would say that, but I am. And even though we're playing what I call my very chill game, it's surprisingly enough, um, I'm surprised it gave me room and spirit to say this at all. And even if you needed to hear this today or not, choose a path that actually suits you and go with it. Like don't follow what other people are doing because it's supposedly cool. And I get when there's trends and I get when there's things. It's this thing of, do you want to do that trend? Is it actually interesting you, or is it just because some other person did it? And I know I've had to kind of slowly learn to back away from all that. Like, trust me, there are a lot of trends I've tried doing. There are a lot of things I've also done. I've also had very unsuccessful streams in the past. Um, but I also know, as I started this year, that I'm like, you know what? Whatever I stream right now is going to be on this. It's going to be on something that works, that can keep me on stream, and can keep me doing what I need to do goal wise and all that. And I'm very grateful for it. And what I'm even more grateful for is you guys. The fact that I'm slowly growing a community, even if it's not as many people that come here to watch, even if it's not a lot of people that I expect to watch. Like, it's just a lot, and I'm grateful for the support. And I'm grateful for the people that decided to come in, decided to check it out, maybe left after a minute of me, like, rambling on about something, blah, 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 blah. I like to talk. And realistically, I'm very grateful for this. Even if I'm in a place right now where I'm making the minuscule changes. And like I said, it's January and I'm rambling about this. I have another 11 months, not even, to go in this year and see where life takes me. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful for this. I'm grateful for you guys, and I'm grateful for what I'm choosing to do on here, what I decide to do, all that. Now, I know I started the stream at 3:15, and we're only hitting the 48-minute mark, but I do think after my rambling, we can probably do one more game of this, 2048, see how far I go, and then I'll send you guys along away. Okay? Let's go. So, all right, 2048. Let's get. Okay, rambles and then needs water. Fun. Okay, so ooh, that's a fun move. Let's just hope I get a little higher than that. I think I can get higher. I think I've done it before, where I've gotten to. Oh my gosh, I know when it gets closer to the yellow, it means it's getting closer to 2048. I don't hit it normally, so like yeah, even though we're playing it, I don't hit the number, unfortunately. But I also mentioned I'm bad at math, so like do not be surprised. Do not be super duper surprised if I just ultimately fail. Fall flat on my face kind of feeling. Okay. Ah! I've just been doing that a lot recently. I don't know why I'm doing that. Maybe it's a tick. I really hope not. I really hope not. That would be a terrible tick, just randomly doing that and then just trust me. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know why I just thought of Smash Bros. All of a sudden as I'm doing this. Just that's lovely music to think about. Just Super Smash Bros. And then it'd be like Super Smash Bros. Melee. Okay, so clearly I did not beat this. This sucks. I did not beat that. What the heck was like? I did not expect to do that. Okay, so as I've said, I'm probably going to have you guys go on your merry way. I hope you guys had a very enjoyable stream. Let's see who I can raid, actually, as I'm here. So, let's see. Okay, there are a good amount of contenders that I can actually raid for once, and Alright. Ooh, okay, there's a person I would like to raid. Alright. And I'll send you guys all along to Eret, and have a good one. Bye.